This is an audio file as you're used to it. I can play this back for you. It's a live recording, apparently. I think it's a Rapper's Delight song. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this shows the waveform, and we could hear like a whistle in the beginning. And if I was remixing this or, you know, doing this for a DVD or something like that, I would probably want to get rid of this whistle noise. Now, what I've shown you before, the sine wave, can now help you to actually figure out where you can see the whistle. And that's right up here. Where you see this little line. I'm just going to play this back. And what you can see is somebody whistling. Now I want to take this out. And whenever I show RX to people I tell people that there's no rule how to use it, or no right or wrong. Well, that's probably wrong, but you can do things in different ways. Now, if you want to remove this, the most straightforward way would be selecting it in the first place to tell RX what you want to tackle. So you could either use like something like the lasso tool, but I'm not very good at drawing, so this doesn't really work for me because I would take out too much. Now there's like a tool that lets you draw stuff. It might be a bit better for this one, and I actually know people, and Josh, you told me you are, you know, manually removing stuff in RX all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's something, and this might be a nice segue to a little bit of a background story on RX. There's this little wand tool, this magic wand tool, where I can just select this, and it will select the whistle. And if I double click on it, it will actually select the overtones. Those of you who are a bit more advanced in terms of audio and frequencies know that if there's an event in audio, unless it's a sine wave, it usually has overtones. And RX automatically selects these. What I can do now is I can listen back to this whistling sound on its own. And I can take it out. Now, taking it out, and there's no rule. Some people would probably use attenuation, where you just bring the level down to make it not as obvious as it is in the mix now. Or, and this is the way most of the professional engineers would go, we could use a tool called spectral repair. Now, spectral repair does something that is familiar, or that is, well, you could almost compare it to an audio, to a picture editing software. And the funny thing is the maker, the father of RX, Alex Lukin, he started his thesis when he studied picture editing. I don't know whether he studied it, but he came from picture editing. And at a certain point, he saw similarities between editing pictures and editing sound. And he eventually ended up inventing RX. Now, what you can do with spectral repair is comparable to what you do with a stamp tool, or, you know, if you get rid of spots in a picture and you just take some material from another part of the picture that looks similar. So what spectral repair does is it looks close to your selection and interpolates the audio that you want to fix. In this case, I want to replace this whistle with surrounding material. The surrounding length can be long in this case because there's lots of stuff we can source from. And the before-after weighting basically says how much weight the selection before and the selection after the audio has. And if I just hit render, you will already be able to see that something happened. Now, let me go back to the original audio by just reverting to the original state that was before. And I'll go back to the repaired version.
It's like magic. It's so crazy.
It is mad. Yeah, it is sort of magic. Like when I mean, Joshua, you've been in audio for a while. It's similar to, you know, other moments in history in audio industry when we saw people like auto-tune or starting to auto-tune stuff, or, you know, then we had direct note access in music where people were like, this is not possible 10 years ago. And then it was possible. And RX can do so many things that I would personally have called impossible, you know, before I saw them. So this is what most people who use RX do on a daily basis. They get rid of things in audio they don't want, and they can use RX in many different ways.